Now let me share my screen. Okay. So maybe what I can do is this way. Okay. So today I am going to talk about the active, passive and dvikarmaka. Karma, goal. There are two karma karmas needed for some verbs. So we will be looking at these and the active and passive constructions. So far we have seen only the active. So today we will have a look at the passive also. But before I start, yes, last time there was a question on Yauvana Kale, Ramaha, etc. And you try to relate Yauvana Kale with Ramaha. But then my answer to that was, you cannot relate Yauvana Kale to Ramaha because Yauvana Kale has Saptami Vibhakti and Ramaha as Prathama Vibhakti, and Yauvana Kale can only be connected to the verb which denotes the time, location of time, Kala Adhikarana. So remember that just like in paintings or in drawings, you have just a few strokes. You don't draw it completely like this. And just by looking at it, you know that he is Gandhiji. How do you know? Because the characteristics are captured and those are represented here. Similarly, in language also, when we express, we just try to express only part of it, and remaining things we infer from various other information. So in that sentence, Yauvana Kale, Ramaha, etc., remember that that information is not expressed through the language string. And this is something which is very important, one should remember while understanding any text, be it a Sanskrit text or a text from any other language. What one should know is what is expressed through the words and what is beyond the language, beyond it. And why it is necessary? Because the information that you are inferring will be, while inferring the other information which is not directly coded in the language string, you will be using various other factors. And those other factors, every person may have different kind of information or knowledge with him or her, and then the interpretations may differ because of that. And therefore we should be very careful while understanding these texts, what exactly is said by the words and what is not, what is being inferred. And once we know that something is being inferred, there might be differences of opinion among the persons who are inferring them. So of course, this is one of the things where one may have different interpretations of the same text. Okay. Okay. Now let me go to this one. In active voice, we have seen that the karta is expressed in prathama, karma is in dvitiya, karana, sampradana, apadana and adhikaranam are in tritiya, chaturthi, panchami and saptami. About the shashti vibhakti, I have not said anything, and we will be looking at it later on. Now, when it is karmani prayoga, that is when we have the passive voice, in passive voice, what changes is just karta and karma. All other things, they remain the same. Now, karta instead of prathama is in tritiya and karma is in prathama. So those who are interested in the Panini Sutras, Panini says anabhihite karmani dvitiya. So anabhihite means unabhihite, if not expressed. Now Abhihite means abhihita is expressed or ukta. So anabhihite, if it is not expressed, then. So what is meant by expressed? Now, when we see the verb, we have seen that gachati, that T expresses the person and number. So in Sanskrit, the verbal form, thing form expresses the person and number. Person and number of what? If it is in Kartari Prayoga, then it expresses the person and number of the Karta. And if it is Karmani Prayoga, it expresses the number and person of the karma. Now, once that information is expressed, see here, try to understand it this way. We have an activity and participants. Now, the role of participant is to be expressed. That is expressed either through the vibhakti that is attached. So, for example, vanam gacchati, Ramaha vanam gacchati. Vana has that dvitiya vibhakti which expresses karma. But in case of Ramaha, prathama vibhakti is there. This prathama vibhakti does not express kartrutva, but it just shows the agreement between the verb and the noun. So we have gacchati, which says some activity of going by a third person is happening, and this third person is single. Now, who is that third person? Who is the person who is going? In order to look at it, we need to we need to identify the word which is in prathama. Now, why this prathama vibhakti? Because in Sanskrit, always to this pratipadika, some vibhakti is added. Yes, there is a raised hand. Is it an important question? Immediately you want the answer for this?
I want to ask, what about Dvitiya Vibhakti here?
I will come to that. I will come to that. Please
okay.
wait. Yeah, please wait. So in Kartari Prayoga, the word which is in Prathama Vibhakti will have an agreement in number and person with the verb. So as I said, Ramaha Gacchati. Gacchati has third person and singular number expressed by this Ti. And therefore we say that the karta of this is a third person. Now, since we cannot use just Ram as a pratipadika in a sentence, we need to add some vibhakti. By default, prathama vibhakti is added just to make it a pada. So this prathama vibhakti actually is not telling that it is karta, but the agreement between Rama and Gacchati. That agreement is telling that Rama is the karta. Why karta? Because Gacchati is in Kartari Prayoga. And in Karmani Prayoga, we will have karma expressed through the verb. So, Ramena vanam gamyate. This will be the sentence. Gamyate. This expresses again third person and singular, but it is now expressing the karma. So, Vana should be in Prathama and Rama will be in Tritiya. There won't be any word in Dvitiya here. Okay. And now see here, Karta and Karana, both of them will be in Tritiya. The rule for this by Panini is Kartru Karanayoho Tritiya. Anabhihite Kartru Karanayoho Tritiya Karmani Dvitiya. So here karma is anabhihita and therefore karma is in Dvitiya. In Karmani Prayoga, karma is abhihita and therefore it is in Prathama, and Karta and Karana are in Tritiya. Sampradane Chaturthi, Apadane Panchami, and Adhikarane Saptami. So these are the sutras. Okay. So here you say that Karana, Sampradana, Apadana, Adhikarana, they get the same vibhakti, whether it is in Kartari Prayoga or Karmani Prayoga. It is only the Karta and Karma will have different vibhaktis. So here are the examples. Ramaha Vanam Gacchati. Now, I have not given the translations into English, but I have given a gloss so that those who do not know Sanskrit, but want to have a kind of access to it, through this you can understand what is being said. Ramaha is Rama, which is in nominative case. Vanam is the forest in accusative, and Gacchati is go. It's in active voice, present tense, third person and singular. So it means that Rama goes to forest. And the passive construction is Ramena Vanam Gamyate. Now let me try to demonstrate how this parser, how the Samsadhani works on these two sentences. So I go to this Anusarakam and I give this sentence. Ramaha Vanam Gacchati. It's in prose, and let me submit it. It's taking time. Okay, so machine has produced the translation, but what I am more interested in is this graph. So Ramaha is Karta and Vanam is Karma. Well, actually, I should say Rama is Karta and Vana is Karma, and the activity is going, so Gamana Kriya. But instead of writing just Rama, Vana and Gamana, we are writing Gacchati, Rama and Vanam. But conceptually, it is the person Ram who is the Karta of going activity, and the forest is the goal or karma of this activity.
Ma'am, okay. I had a quick question at this point for this particular graph. Okay.
Yes.
So on the right, there 1.1.A, 1.1.E. So some of them are hyperlinked. You have a blue line there.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I click on that, I do get a graph. But there are instances when I'm not getting a graph also. If you show all.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I will come to that. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we have this. Now let me take another sentence, the Karmani Prayoga of it. Ramena Vanam Gamyate. Okay. Again, it's taking time. I don't know why. What's happening? Okay, let me. So yes, let me do it here. Okay, it has produced. Okay, so here it has produced Ramena is the Karta and Vana as Karma. So you see that in both for both the sentences, the graph is the same. I mean, the relations are the same. Rama is Karta and Vana is Karma. For the previous we had Rama was the Karta and Vana was the Karma. So whether it is active voice or passive voice, the underlying analysis of both the sentences is the same. So you may think that some information loss is happening. What is being uttered by the sentence, what is being expressed by the sentence is not properly captured. And what is that we are losing here? It is the voice. And what is the importance of voice? This active and passive, if we look at it, sometimes we use passive voice if we do not want to highlight the karta. Okay. So I read a book, the book is read by me. I don't want to say highlight. So whenever we want to hide some information or not express the information, that is one case where we use this passive voice. So actually, this is a kind of, I will say, the intention of the speaker. And that intention of the speaker is known to us through this verbal suffix only. So this verbal suffix is giving that information. So in that sense, I don't think we are losing any information when we express this, the only the relations karta and karma, and we are ignoring the vibhakti differences, etc. Okay, conceptually it is the same thing. Same activity is being viewed in two different ways. It is something like when we decide to build a house, we go to the architect, and then architect will produce various he will give us designs, front view, side view, or top view, and all that, to and that gives us a kind of idea about how the house will look like when it is built. So here also, what we are showing actually is only the information that is expressed by the speaker. The speaker might have viewed that particular activity from a particular perspective, and that perspective is captured in the words, but what is the abstraction? And that abstraction, the semantic abstraction, we are capturing here. Okay, so coming back to this.
Madam, can I ask you a question, please?
Yes.
What in the graph, how do you indicate that arrow marks? Now, what does it mean? Arrow marks, you are moving towards, what is that a relation,
okay,
or what does it mean actually?
Oh, okay. So how to read this? So this says that, see, this arrow is the head and this is the tail. Okay. So this line says that, and on this line, the label is karta. On the second line, the label is karma.
Yes, fine.
Now, this line says that for this verb, gam dhatu, for the verb gam, the karta is Rama.
Okay.
For this verb gam, the karma is Vana. Okay.
Okay, madam. But why I am asking you, similarly, we had an what you call analysis of other day, Yavana Kale, Ramaha.
Yes.
So lot of flow was there, the arrow marks were there. So in that case also, I had some confusion understanding the flow, that arrow mark, from what it means and how it is related and all. That's why I asked the question.
Oh, okay, fine. So now is it clear?
Yeah. Now it is okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
So actually the arrow mark tells that what is the role of the label on the arrow mark, label on this arrow tells you what is the role of the head word.
That's fine. That's okay. Fine. But I thought it is a flow of thought. That's why I'm confused that it is not flow of thought. It is meaning something else.
Yeah, it is telling you, it is actually giving you the semantics of the given sentence.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, there is some other question. Somebody else was asking something. Okay. So here I have a sentence where the intransitive verb is used. And you will see that the translation of such passive voice sentences in English are not good. Here I can say, okay, the forest, even this is not good, forest was gone by Ram. But I can have Ramaha pustakam pathati, the book is read by Ram. Ramena pustakam pathyate. This is something good in English or even in modern Indian languages. But Ramena vanam gamyate, if you try to translate it into modern Indian languages or in English also, it sounds very odd. And therefore, what I have given here is just the gloss of each of the word, and from this figure you can understand what is the meaning of that sentence. Coming back to this again, now we have seen that karta and karana, both of them take tritiya vibhakti. So naturally there is an ambiguity. So let us take this sentence, Ramena Banena Valihi Hanyate. Now let me write here. Banena Valihi Hanyate. Okay. So now here, as you can see, Hanyate, this is a passive voice, and Valihi is in Prathama. Ramena and Banena, both of them are in Tritiya. And now one of them is Karta and other is Karana. For a human being, it is very easy to decide that Rama is Karta and Bana is Karana. But then machine, since machine does not have the background, the world knowledge or knowledge about the things outside the linguistic world, it says that there are 5 possibilities. Now, why 5? It should have been 6. Let us see what is happening. Okay. So here we see that Banena, it says it can be either a Karana or Karta or Hetu. Hetu is the cause. In the case of cause also, Sanskrit uses Tritiya Vibhakti, third case, the instrumental case. So this Bana can be either a Karana, instrument, or a cause, or the doer of the activity. Banena Valihi Hanyate. This is a perfect sentence where it says that the arrow has killed Vali. Arrow kills Vali. This is a perfect sentence where the arrow is the Karta. Under Ramayana, it has given Karta and Hetu. Karana is not given because Rama being name of the person, and machine knows that Rama is name of the person. So it has not given Karana here because a person cannot be an instrument. So that is not there. But because of Ram, the arrow killed. Well, we can have some other sentence. Because of Ram.
Madam, 1 minute.
Yes.
While we are showing this table, I would like to know कि Rama, so it is polling, it is clear. And Rame third तृतीया विभक्ति मतलब it is करता है और साथ में करण है ना, तो यहाँ करता is okay. So what is the meaning by hetu? Ramayana is hetu.
That's what I'm explaining, madam. Please wait. Please listen to me.
क्योंकि मुझे ये करणम and हेतु बाणा, तो you have said it is hetu karanam, so how we have to understand bana in this option? That please,
So,
4.1
madam, this is what I am explaining. Please listen to me. Okay. Yeah. So this Tritiya Vibhakti is used in for three different relations. In the case of passive voice, it can be either a Karta or Karana or Hetu. Now, what is Hetu? Because of. Okay. So because of Ram, let us say, because of Sugriva, Ram killed Ravana. Ram killed Vali. Okay. So if I want to say this, then Sugrivena Ramena Valihi Hanyate. This I can say because of Sugriva, in order to help Sugriva, etc. Ram killed Vali using the Bana. So you can have a sentence such as Sugrivena, Ramena, Banena, Vali, Hanyate, etc. But of course, this doesn't look this doesn't sound very good sentence because three words are there in Tritiya Vibhakti, etc. So these these are some of the considerations when these poets create poetry. They will try to look at the beauty of the text also. They just don't want to convey the information, but they want to convey the information aesthetically and so on. So let me come back to this. So we have here now Banena, which can be Karana, which can be Hetu, and which can be Karta. I think, madam, now you understand why it can be Hetu. Okay, like Sugrivena, where Sugriva is the Hetu. Bana here is marked as Karana, or Bana can be Karta also. Suppose this word Ramena were not there. If the sentence were just Banena Valihi Hanyate, then we could have interpreted it as Bana has killed Vali, or we can also interpret it as a sentence where Ramena is ellipsed. Ramena is not mentioned. There is an ellipsis of Ramena, and then we can think of Bana as Karana. And then we can have by the arrow, Vali is killed, or Vali was killed. So all these three here are possible. In the case of Ramena, machine has used some intelligence. And what is that intelligence? Machine identified Rama as name of the person and now says that, oh, this cannot be Karana, because a person cannot be an instrument. A thing can be an instrument. So here this Karana is missing. And thus we have total 5 solutions. Does this answer questions of all of you, or do you have any further doubts?
Okay, madam.
Okay. Okay. So now let me go ahead. Now here I have a sentence where there is some problem when we translate it into English. So especially those who are not familiar with such constructions in Sanskrit, or even in Indian languages.
In this sentence only, can you just stay on this sentence? Rama,
Yes.
Rama, Vanam Gacchati.
Yeah.
That sentence. Okay. And there, if you pull out some more rows, you will get some rows where that graph is not popping up. In certain rows, some rows, the graphs are not. If you just show all the rows, of analysis, A, B, C, D.
Okay,
everything.
I want. Okay, fine.
And then now you see, you click on 1.1.C. No, close. Now click on 1.1.C.
Yeah.
1.1.A. Yes.
No, only on 11A the graph will be shown.
Oh, so why not 11C?
No. Okay, this graph is a different one. Now I am not displaying it. Yeah, there is. Sorry, I will remove this link. Okay. There is. Earlier I used to show some other graph also. Now I should remove the link. Thank you very much for pointing this out.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me now go back to another sentence. This is Vanat Gramam. Oops, sorry. Oh, I'm writing in Devanagari. Vanat Gramam Adya Upetya Ramena Odanam Apache. Okay. Now those, oops, what is happening? It's Devanagari. Yeah. Those who know little bit of Sanskrit. Vanat, this is Panchami. So this is the Apadana, from the forest. Gramam, this is Dvitiya Vibhakti, to the village. Adya, Adya is today. Oh, it has produced the, okay, let me now try to explain this. So Apache, Pach is the dhatu. Pach means to cook, and it is in passive voice, karmani prayoga, and lung lakara. So this is, I don't know why, okay, fine, the Hindi translation is not shown. Okay, so this is the past tense. So it says, was Ram, the Odana, the rice was cooked by Ram. Ramena Odanam Apache. Okay, Ram is the karta, Odana is the karma. The rice was cooked by Ram. This is the main sentence. And what is the subordinate clause or the krut part of it? Upetya. Upetya is, upa is the preverb, upasarga, and e is the dhatu. The meaning of e is to go. Upetya is return. This e is in the sense of going. Upa plus e means to return. So upa, e, and lyap. Lyap is, if there is a upasarga, we use lyap, otherwise tva, and meaning of tva is purva kala. That is the preceding action. So upetya is the preceding action for Apache. So he cooked after returning or having returned. Where did he return? He returned Grama, village. Okay. This is the karma. And so it says that after having returned the village, the rice was cooked by Ram. Adya is today. So today he returned. And from where he returned? From the forest. Now here you see we have seen the rule samana kartrukayoho purva kale. When you have a precedence relation, when there are two activities, one activity preceding the other one, then the karta for both of them is the same. So Rama is the karta for returning also. Now you try to translate it into English and you will run into problems. Today, having returned to the village from the forest, the rice was cooked by Ram. Now, who returned? If we look at this English sentence, it looks like the rice has returned, because the English has a tendency to share this subject, whatever is in the subject position, that is shared. So rice was cooked, rice is in the subject position. So there is a tendency for having the sharing of the subject. And here we have karta, which is being shared. So translations of such sentences into English will be little problematic. And therefore, I have not given the translation, but I have just given the gloss for these sentences. So having returned to the village from the forest, today the rice was cooked, and Ramena I have missed by Ram. Okay. Now let us see some other phenomena. These are the ditransitive verbs. So the sentence is, we in fact started with this tapasvadhyaya niratam tapasvi vagvidamvaram naradam paripapracha valmikir munipungavam. So paripapracha, and there what were the expectancies? I said who said, to whom, and what. So we had three expectancies. And in Sanskrit, how these expectancies, what vibhaktis they get. Adhyapakah Ramam Prashnam Pruchhati. So to ask a question or ask. Prashna is one karma and Rama is also another karma. There are two karmas here. And Adhyapaka is the karta. So let me show this on the machine. Let me see if I can copy from here. This is a PDF. I'm not sure if I can copy. No, that is a problem. Okay. So, Adhyapakah Ramam Prashnam Pruchhati. Okay. Now this Rama and Prashna, there are two karmas, and these two karmas are called Mukhya and Gauna karma. Mukhya is the primary, Gauna is the secondary. Now, which one is primary and which is secondary? We need not worry about it. Machine knows which one is primary and secondary, especially in the case of Karmani Prayoga. In Kartari Prayoga, it makes it goes wrong. But we need not worry about that part, because this Mukhya and Gauna karma, the terminology is only to for understanding the passive constructions. So let us just forget about this Mukhya and Gauna. These two are karmas. Rama is a karma and Prashna is also a karma. And Adhyapaka is the karta. There is another sentence, Devadattaha Ajam Gramam Nayati. Now, let us also look at it. If we translate it into English, Adhyapakah Ramam Prashnam Pruchhati, the teacher asks a question to Ram, or teacher asks Ram a question. Both are possible. So in English also, this ask is considered as a ditransitive verb, which has two objects. One is a direct object, the other one is indirect object. Another example which is used in English for ditransitive is Ram gives a flower to Sita. You can say Ram gives Sita a flower. So, but in Sanskrit, this construction with give will have Chaturthi Vibhakti. Ramaha Sitaya Pushpam Dadati. So there you have the Chaturthi Vibhakti. So though there are Dvikarma verbs in both English and Sanskrit, the Dvikarma verbs of Sanskrit are different from the Dvikarma verbs, the list of Dvikarma verbs in English. There is no one-to-one correspondence. Not that all Dvikarmakas in Sanskrit are Dvikarmakas in English and vice versa. Okay, now this is another sentence. Devadattaha Ajam Gramam Nayati. Devadatta takes a goat to the village. Okay. You can't say Devadatta takes village a goat. I don't know whether it's a good sentence or not in English. And here is a list of these verbs. Duha means to milk, yach to request or ask, pach, danda, rudhi, prach, chi, bru, shas, ji, mat, mush. This is the list. And if you want examples for each of these verbs, some of these verbs are very common, like bru means to speak, prach is to ask, danda is to punish, pach is to cook. These are common words, or shas is to rule. So these are some of the commonly used verbs. If you want examples for each of these, then you can refer to Siddhanta Kaumudi. Those who are studying Sanskrit and want to understand and go deep in the grammar can look at the Siddhanta Kaumudi. So there are two lists. One list has 12 verbs and another list has 4 verbs. And the difference between these two lists I will explain in a minute. So here I have a table. If it is an intransitive verb, we have only karta, and in active voice, it will be in prathama vibhakti. And here is an example. If it is a transitive verb, sakarmaka kriya, then I made a mistake here. This should not be there. There is a typo. We have karta and karma, as in Ramaha Gramam Gacchati. But if we have ditransitive, again there is a typo. If it is a ditransitive, then karta is in prathama, karma, both the karmas are in dvitiya vibhakti. Now the question is, when we have a passive voice, and if there are two karmas, then which one will be in prathama? Because we saw that in karmani prayoga, karma will be in prathama. So whether both of them will be in prathama? No. There is a rule, and here we have this distinction. Let me now explain this. So in passive voice, in transitive, the karta is in tritiya. In passive voice, with transitive verbs, karta is in tritiya, but karma is in prathama vibhakti. And in the case of ditransitive verbs, I showed you two lists. In the first list, typically the gauna karma, the secondary one, which will be in prathama, and the other one will be in dvitiya. So here is a sentence with duha dhatu. Duha is to milk a cow. So ramena gauhu dugdham duhyate. Again, this is something, a very odd kind of construction for us to translate into either in Indian languages or in English. Dugdham and duhyate both are there. So milk is milched. The cow is milched for milk, or whatever we will have to say, by Rama. And this one is, the goat is taken to the village by Rama. And here the goat will be in prathama vibhakti. Now you need not worry about which one will be in prathama, which will be in dvitiya, etc. In the passive voice, machine takes care of this. These are very well written rules by Panini. The list is also given. So machine remembers all these things. We need not remember which one is mukhya and which is gauna, or which one will take prathama vibhakti, which will take dvitiya vibhakti. We need to remember this if we are going to speak. But if already a sentence is given, then whether it is karma or not, whether it is mukhya karma or gauna karma, etc., that machine remembers and handles on its own. We need not worry. So let us try this. Ramena gauhu dugdham duhyate. Ramena gauhu dugdham duhyate. Okay. Okay. So here it says go is the gauna karma, dugdham is the mukhya karma, and Rama is the karta. This is what we had here. The one which is in Prathama Vibhakti is the secondary, Gauna. And one which is in Dvitiya Vibhakti is the Mukhya. And you see here, the Mukhya one is in Dvitiya Vibhakti, and Gauhu, which is in Prathama, is Gauna. Gauna is the secondary one. Similarly, you can try Ramena Ajagramam Niyate, and machine identifies. Okay. Now I come to the last kind of construction. It is a causative construction. So suppose we have a sentence, Shishyaha Pathati. The student is studying, student studies. And Guruhu Pathayati. The teacher teaches the student. So here Guruhu Shishyam Pathayati. This Guru is called, it's a, sorry, there is a typo here again. It's a causative agent. It's called Prayojaka Karta. And the causi is Shishya. It is the Prayojakarta. So this Pathayati is a special kind of construction. Again, morphologically, there is Path Dhatu. To this, one suffix which is called Nich is added. We had seen earlier that we can add certain suffixes to the verbs to make new verbs. So from Patha and Nich, a new verb Patha is generated. Pathaya. And to this Pathaya, Ti is added and you get Pathayati. Again, while some of these Indian languages have such constructions of, have these morphological derivations of these causative verbs, if we want to translate it into English, we need to use two different verbs. The student studies and the teacher teaches the student. Let us have another sentence. Suppose now we have Ramaha Odanam Pachati. I have added karma also. And if I now want to say Ramaha Odanam Pachati, Ram is, oh sorry, here I have copied a wrong sentence, sorry for that. So Ramaha Odanam Pachati, Ram cooks the rice. And suppose Devadatta makes Ram to cook the rice. So Devadatta is the causative agent and Rama is the agent or karta for Pakakriya and Odana is the karma. So this Devadatta is called Prayojaka Karta and Rama is called the Prayojakarta. Now you see here, let me take next one more sentence. Ramaha Gramam Gacchati and Devadattaha Ramam Gramam Gamayati. Here Devadatta is in Prathama, it is Prayojakarta and Ramam is the Prayojakarta. Now you see here this Ramam is in Dvitiya Vibhakti, whereas here it was Ramena Tritiya Vibhakti. There is some difference in these two constructions. There are a set of verbs which take, in which cases this Prayojakarta takes Dvitiya Vibhakti, not Tritiya. By default, according to the Panini's rule, Devadattaha Ramena Odanam Pachayati. Pachaya is the verb. For this verb, Devadatta is the karta. So there is an agreement. This is Tritiya Purush Ekavachanam. Ti refers to Tritiya Purush Ekavachanam. Devadatta is a third person and it is in singular and therefore here you get the Prathama Vibhakti. Now Rama is also a karta. Karta for which activity? To cook, pach. but already karta for pachaya is expressed. You cannot again express karta for pacha here. So since you cannot express karta for pacha, because this ti is for pachaya. So now this kartrutva of Rama is anabhihita, it is not expressed. And therefore you get here third case, Ramena. And Odana is the karma, therefore you get Dvitiya Vibhakti. And there are exceptions to this rule. There are certain set of verbs in which cases this karta of gam dhatu, the underlying non-causative verb, if I say, the karta of that will get Dvitiya Vibhakti. And those verbs are verbs related to motion, gati, verbs related to buddhi, any kind of intelligent activity, reading, and so on. Then gati buddhi, and the third one is eating, something related to eating, and the intransitive verbs. In all such cases, you have the Dvitiya Vibhakti. Again, machine is taught this rule. It is very well defined rule. Machine is taught this rule. So machine will identify the Prayojakarta and Prayojakarta, etc. in these sentences. So let me take this Devadattaha Ramena Odanam Pachayati. Okay. And let me also give the other sentence. What was it? Devadattaha. Sorry. Ramam Gramam Gamayati. Okay, so this is done. Devadattaha Ramena Odanam Pachayati. Now machine has gone wrong. Odanam it has marked as Prayojyakarta. This is something wrong. What happened? I don't know. It has done something wrong, which it should not have. Well, so let me first try with this. Devadattaha Ramam Gramam Gamayati. Here now Rama is marked as karma and Grama as Prayojyakarta. And it says there are two solutions. So it gives the other solution also, that Rama is the Prayojyakarta and Grama is karma. So this is second solution. And you have here Rama is Prayojyakarta and Grama is karma. So when both of them are in Dvitiya Vibhakti, then since machine has two choices, and how do you decide which one is the causae and which is the goal? It depends on the meanings of these two words, and therefore here machine produces both the results, and looking at the meanings of these two words, we decide which one is causae and which is the karma. Okay, so we chose the second one. Now here, I don't know what is gone wrong. Let me see. I don't know. I will have to look at it. It will take some time. I will explain it maybe tomorrow. I will have to look at what has gone wrong. It will take some time for me to debug. Okay. By the way, Sanal, is there any problem in Sanskrit sentence?
No, ma'am. Seems good.
Okay, fine. Okay, so I will have a look at it, and then tomorrow I will address this. So any questions? Yes. So Premalata.
Yes, ma'am. Can you just show me this slide? I have another question, but let me, because you're open on this. Somebody has to be muted.
Huh?
I think my voice is echoing. Okay. So now this one here, you showed me two solutions. How did you get two solutions?
See,
You showed
how
me
do
two,
you?
you showed me two graphs.
Yes.
So one graph was by clicking on 1.1.8. The other one.
Okay. Now, okay. So your question is how to go to the second graph, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what you do is you take your cursor on 11A, right click, and then you will see open link in new tab.
Okay.
Okay. So it will open the link in new tab. Now you get all the solutions.
Okay.
Okay. Now you choose the second one. How do you choose the second one? So essentially you need to choose the correct relations.
Okay.
So I have chosen Gramam as Karma. In this, Gramam was Prayojyakarta. So I choose here Gramam as Karma, not Prayojyakarta.
Okay.
When I choose Gramam as Karma, for Rama there were two choices. The Karma option of Rama will automatically vanish because there cannot be two karmas. So you get here Prayojyakarta. And now go to translate into Hindi. If you just want to see the graph, you can click on unique parse tree and you can see the graph. Okay.
Okay.
So this is Prayojyakarta, this is Prayojyakarta, and this is Karma. But
technically, if I understand right, I'll get the graph if and only if I reach a unique solution, correct?
No, not unique. Here there are not unique solutions.
Yes, yes. But for
yes,
right.
Yes,
for the
you are
stem,
right.
we should get that. Okay.
You are right. So
Okay.
Only when you have unique solution, you can get the graph. And then if you want a translation, you can click on translate into Hindi and it translates and you have this. Okay.
Okay. And I have another quick question now. Now, modern day grammarians feel that Kridati is a Sakarmaka Dhatu. Although Panini has made it as Akarmaka Dhatu. So while you were explaining, I tried some crazy things with Kridati, like Ramaha Chaturangan Kridati. It's actually a valid sentence. So it was giving me all kinds of weird solutions which I was not happy with. So is your system, my question to you is your system taking care of these types of modern day developments that are?
No.
So it still believes that Kridati is Akarmaka Dhatu.
Yeah, the reason why we are not handling the modern changes is we want to have a system which will provide authentic readings of the classical Sanskrit texts. Okay. Of course, in order to handle the modern Sanskrit, we will have to make some amendments to the current system. And we can have a different kind of branch of it. But I don't want to mix the two things together because our ultimate aim is to provide a platform which will provide authentic readings, authentic understanding of the classical texts.
But even in a classical text like Charaka Samhita and all those things, there are lots of articles which have not adhered to Panini.
Yeah, I know. These are called the Arsha Prayogas. Okay. So there are Arsha Prayogas, and these are at the morphological level as well as at the syntax level. So when it is at the morphological level, we provide ready-made solutions for such words, but we don't contaminate our system with these. We keep them separate. Okay.
Yeah,
And we use them only when there is such usage. For syntax, for the sentential analysis, we have not yet incorporated such. But for morphology, at the morphological level, we have incorporated. There were almost 2 to 3% of the words in Balakanda of Ramayana, which were not according to the Paninian rules, because the Ramayana was written much before Panini's grammar came into existence. Okay. Okay. Is it done? Shall I
Yes,
move
yes,
to
ma'am.
another one? Yeah. So Smriti
Yes,
Shri,
ma'am. Namaste. So I have a doubt in causative construction.
which construction?
The causative last one.
Okay. Okay.
It was only in active voice, so there is no causative construction in
No,
passive
you
voice?
can, you will have it in passive voice also. I didn't want to burden you with,
Confuse much.
yeah, because already this Vikarma is confusing. So I didn't want to burden you with all those.
Okay.
But machine handles it. Okay.
Okay, and also for the sentence like Ramaha Vanam that Vanam Gachati or something. So it was, the Hindi translation was Ram ke dwara van jaya jata hai.
Yeah,
It
this is
doesn't seem-
Ramena Vanam Gamyate. Well, see, this is the problem. That's what I was telling, that this Hindi, you will not find it as a good sounding Hindi, good
Yeah,
Hindi,
I mean,
because such usages are not there in Hindi, or even in English it will be very odd. Okay, so in such cases, just look at the graph and try to understand instead of looking at the translation.
okay, because I am a beginner in Sanskrit. So if I'm having something like Hindi or other English, I'll try to understand it much more better, right? So
Right, but then I told you how to interpret this.
yeah.
So in that case, you try to look at what is the meaning of Rama, what is the meaning of Vana, and now who is Karta, who is Karma, and try to understand it. Okay. So you can ignore the Karmani Prayoga and see only the graph and try to understand it by looking at the meanings of the stem, Pratipadika and Dhatu. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. The next one is Vedanta Srinivasan.
Yeah. See, in this sentence, Adhyapakaha Ramam Prashnam Prichati. You said Ramam is the Mukhya Karma and Prashnam is the Gauna Karma. But if you see
no. See, what I said is machine actually produces here 2 solutions, and we need to choose the one which is correct one. So Prashnam, so let me see. In the case of Prucha Dhatu, here Prashna will be the Gauna Karma. Yes, Rama will be, sorry, here Prashna will be the Gauna Karma and Rama will be the Mukhya Karma.
But my question is, see, when if you say Adhyapakaha Prashnam Prichati, this is a full sentence.
Yes.
Now, Adhyapakaha Ramam Prichati, this doesn't convey the full meaning. So, in my question is, why not Prashnam is the Mukhya Karma?
Well, now, okay, fine. See, the reason behind now this Mukhya Karma and Gauna Karma, maybe we will discuss this, what is Mukhya, what is Gauna, why it is called Mukhya, why it is called Gauna, okay? And well, so on Monday we will take up these things in detail.
Ma'am, actually the sentence is correct only. Ramam Prichati, he asks Ram, right? So it's right.
Ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Malay, boliye.
Actually, this Prashna is the Mukhya Karma and Rama is the Gauna Karma.
Rama will be the Gauna Karma. अध्यापकेन रामः प्रश्नं पृच्छते.
पृच्छते.
रामं प्रश्नः पृच्छते is not correct. रामः प्रश्नं पृच्छते. So Rama will be the Gauna karma.
Yes.
Yeah. See, what machine produces actually in such cases, both the solutions, because machine cannot decide which one is Mukhya and which is Gauna in Kartari Prayoga. If it is Karmani Prayoga, it knows which one is correct, which one is Gauna and which one is Mukhya. So, what is the sentence?
Adhyapakah.
Adhyapakena
Ramah
prashnam pruchate. Pruchate. Yeah. Yes.
Madam, can I say something?
Yes.
Whenever there is another vibhakti can be used, that is called that Gauna karma. Because here you can ask Adhyapaka Ramaya Prasnam Pachati. So Ramaya also can be used as a
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
So that is yes. It is not a
exactly. Right. So I actually didn't want to have all the. There are some for each. What I will be doing in the next class is all these 12 verbs which have Mukhya karma and Gauna karma. There are two constructions always possible. Let me give the Hindi version of it first. So, suppose it is Dogdhi. Now, you can have Gam Payah Dogdhi. So, where Gam and Payah, both of them are in Dvitiya Vibhakti. In Hindi, we can also say Gai se Dudh Dohata hai. So, we can have the fifth case also with go, or we can have Dvitiya Vibhakti also. So, actually, I didn't want to go in these details, but let me now, since we are at it, let me tell you about this. Panini has given 3 rules for karma. First, it says karma is kartruhu ipsitatamam karma, and then he has tatha yuktam cha anipsitam and akathitam cha. Now, here these examples relate to that akathitam cha. Now, what it says is, in an activity, now in the activity of milking, a cow is there, milk is there, and the person who is milking. 3 things, 3 participants are involved. Now, if the vakta, if the speaker does not want to say that cow is the one from where the milk is getting separated. So he does not want to use the apadana samnya there. Then he can use this Dvitiya Vibhakti. But this is possible only in these 12 verbs. Similarly, in the case of questioning, now when you are questioning somebody, actually you want to extract an answer from him. Okay. Here now, why you have the Chaturthi Vibhakti? Why not Panchami? Why not? Because I said you are extracting the information from him. So here the Ram is going to be benefited when instead of approach, let me use the word brew, which actually is something easy for me. Adhyapakah Ramam Dharmam Brute. Adhyapaka is telling Rama about the Dharma. So Rama is getting benefited here. So you can also say Ramaya, where Chaturthi is used. So all these verbs, the 12 verbs, I wanted to do it in a systematic way. Maybe I will do it in a systematic way day after tomorrow on Monday, where how these 12 verbs, in all these 12 verbs, what are the alternative constructions? And once you know the alternative constructions, you know which one is the main and which is the primary and which is the secondary. And only the difference between these two, why these two lists? Because in one list, the Gauna gets Prathama Vibhakti in passive voice, whereas in another list, the Mukhya gets Prathama Vibhakti in passive voice. So we will I will cover all these things in detail on Monday with parallel examples and parallel constructions with different vibhaktis, etc. So when essentially when speaker does not want to say something with that particular role, he wants to hide the role, he uses Dvitiya Vibhakti. So instead of Ramaya, Rama is used. Similarly, in the case of Go, instead of Panchami, Dvitiya is used, because that Apadana the speaker does not want to highlight further. Okay. So this is a kind of hiding some information. And why we hide information? There are several reasons. And this is how the language works. So Panini had just observed it and he has given rules for these. Okay, anybody else?
Madam, I have one question.
Yes.
So I was trying to use this tool that you explained. So I went to the Samkshepa Ramayanam, and which one should I select, the Mula Shloka or Shloka Anvaya?
Well, okay, now, okay. So let me tell you that in Sankshepa Ramayana, there might be some typing mistakes also. So what I would suggest you is, you go to, there is one very good website, all of you should know about this. This is Gita Super Site at iitk.ac.in. Can you see this? Oh, sorry. This does not increase the font size here. It is gitasupersite.iitk.ac.in. Okay. So you go to this website and you will see Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Ramacharitmanas and all these, and Valmiki Ramayana is also there. Okay. So if you want to see Valmiki Ramayana, Shloka's translation and Shloka wise. Okay. So let us go Shlok by Shlok. So here you have this complete Shlok available. But this Shlok is not in the Sandhi split form. This is the original Shlok. We need to use the segmenter here. So I will explain how to use the segmenter and how to go to our website. But if you really are interested in using this, what I would suggest is you can copy this, and if you know how to split it, which you can find from our website. On our website, we have the split version, which may have some typos. And therefore, I'm asking you to take it from here. And then what you do is, here you split this. Okay. And remember one thing, for Visarga, don't use the colon but use the visarga. If I hope you have the Devanagari keyboard. If you do not have the Devanagari keyboard, then you will have to type it in some notation using your WX or whichever you are familiar with. And here you need to split the compounds. So tapasvadhyaya niratam. Now I need to split it as tapas and then swadhyaya. This Chrome, when I delete anything, it deletes complete akshara. So complete swadhyaya was deleted. So tapasvadhyaya niratam, tapasvi vagvidam varam. Again, here in case of vagvidam, if I want to delete only this, it's done. And vagvidam varam. This question was asked by somebody else also. So now look at what how the input is being given. I have put here hyphen in the compounds. Tapasvadhyaya niratam was a compound. Vagvidam is a compound. Munipungavam is a compound. Everywhere I have put this hyphen. And Valmiki, remember, don't put the here. Don't use this colon. You see the difference between colon and visarga? Don't use this colon. You have to use the visarga. And since this is shloka, you have to choose shloka and then submit. And then, here again, I made a mistake. So let me stop. There is a space here. There should not be a space between Vag and Vidam. Let me submit it again. So you should remember all these things. All the compounds, all the sandhi should be split, and you select shloka if it is a shloka.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Okay.
And so if I want to still use the tool, I can practice with any simple sentences also.
Yes, yes, you can practice with any simple sentences. And let me also show you one more thing here. Where it is gone. Okay. So not this. So suppose you select this one where the sandhi is not split. Then what happens? Dasharatha Putraha, etc., where the compound Dasharatha Putraha is a compound word. Similarly, Ayodhya Nagaryam is one word, which is a compound. If we do not split the components, then what machine does? Let me show you. You get some white color. So here there is no color associated with this. That means these words are not recognized by machine. And therefore you will not get any graph. Okay. So in such cases, what you need to do is, see, this is something like the gray in segmenter. When you were getting that gray colored word, that means the word is not recognized by the machine. So here I am not using the gray color, but it's just transparent. So in such cases, now you need to go back and put hyphen here, Ayodhya Nagaryam, put hyphen and submit it again. Then machine will recognize this and give the analysis. Meanwhile, this Tapasvadhyaya Niratam machine has done, and you see machine has produced the analysis, the correct analysis as was needed. But the machine can produce this analysis only if you supply these hyphens properly. And in order to supply these hyphens properly, we need to know how to use the segmenter. So I request you to practice segmenter. Once you have some practice, we will again come back to segmenter in a few days' time. What I propose is next week, I will have some more practice and some more whatever is left from these karakas, some more relations, etc. I will explain, and then there will be a break for Christmas. During that time, I would request all of you to practice segmenter, and once you have some good practice with segmenter, we will see how we can call this UH parser from the segmenter, how to call Sansadhani from segmenter. You see here Dasharatha Putraha and Ayodhya Nagaryam. When you split, it has produced the parse, and I hope it is correct. Yes, Dasharatha Putraha Rama, and yes, this is a correct parse. Okay. So what you need to do is provide the input correctly in the correct form. It can be a sentence, it can be a verse, but you need to split the words, split the compounds, and then machine can produce the correct analysis. Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah. Then Paushkara Sadi.
Professor, I want to go back to the old, the first statement you started, basically, which was the last one. Yavana Kale Rama Dasharatha Agnya and all that.
Okay. Huh?
I was wondering, instead of Yavana Kale, you say something like Vasanta Kale or whichever season Rama was there in the Vanam. Then this statement becomes in some sense perfect, in the sense that as far as grammatically is concerned. Or remove the Yavana Kale, then there is nothing, I mean, there's nothing to argue. Or for example, if you use a somewhat not great construction like Ramasi Yavana Kale Ramaha and all that, again, I think the statement looks nice. So the question I want to ask is, can we consider this statement as not grammatically perfect, but then as far as Shabda Bodha and everything is concerned, it's fine because we can make the connection between Yavana Kale and Ramaha?
No.
Or it doesn't make?
See, this is grammatically perfect. Okay. But semantically, see, always it happens in any language. Complete information is never expressed through a language string. We always need to infer several things from the context. Okay. Let me give one example in Hindi. रास्ते में कुत्ता भौंक रहा था, कुत्ता था, वह जोर जोर से भौंक रहा था. On a road there was a dog and it was barking. Now this it, वह, whether it is referring to the road or the dog. How do you know it? You know it only through the word knowledge. The language is not expressing anything here. Right? So there are several such instances where you will see that sentences are grammatically perfect. They are expressing some information, but partially. The other information you need to extract from somewhere else. Another example, let me give from Hindi again. I'm sorry, those who do not know Hindi, I'm giving all Hindi examples. But I would try my best to translate it. There is a novel, and the title of the novel is Usne Kaha Tha. Usne, he or she or it can be anything. Kaha Tha, said. And actually the author purposefully had chosen Usne because the author does not want to reveal who said it, whether it is he or she. There were two characters in the story, and the author does not want to reveal who said it. See, actually, the very good authors and poets, they use this language, this ability of language to hide the information very effectively. So you should be very careful while reading, and actually it adds to the beauty, or this particular story which I'm referring to is actually a kind of suspense, and suspense is revealed only at the end. If the title, now if I'm translating into English, and if I translate it as he said it, the whole suspense is gone. So I will have to translate it as who said it, right? And then the suspense will be there. So the translator's job is very difficult. And it is all because two different languages do not code the information in the same way. And in such texts, in such creations, poet or the author wants to hide some information or present it in such a form that it adds to the beauty, etc. So all such factors are there when a creation is made, and we need to understand that while appreciating the text.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So shall we stop here? Thank you very much. And on Monday, well, tomorrow we will be meeting at the same time. I will send a reminder to everybody with the link, etc. And on Monday, we will look at these Dvikarma constructions, ditransitive constructions in detail regarding which is Mukhya Karma, which is Gauna Karma, etc. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you very much.